something was hanging there. Oh, no, it was the bishop. The bishop was hanging. And the bishop is hanging again. Can Super find it? The bishop is hanging. Oh, when he misses it again, he needs to play queen. Hey, White is winning now. And we are underway for the first match of the full Striped Chess tournament. We have E4 on the board. And for this tournament specifically, we are testing out a new format. We are doing 5-minute blitz with no bonus time. Our normal tournament format usually consists of 3 minutes with 2 seconds of bonus time. But we are going to experiment with this new format and see where it takes us. And we are coming in hot early. We have a 4 knights game played by Mongo and Exploring Chess. Exploring Chess now strikes at the center with d4. Mongo very maliciously takes the pawn on d4. Knight takes, and just like that, in the mere blink of an eye, Black has the advantage. But it is still very early. We are currently on move 6, and Mongo pushes the pawn here. I feel like, yeah, it looks like he's trying to get his bishop into the game, and apparently that is an inaccuracy according to chess.com. 3 million ELO stockfish. Ooh, and apparently that was a bad move too by Mongo, but honestly, I couldn't tell you why. And so White now castles. And now I wonder if White, so if Black takes the bishop here, White's going to take back with the knight. And after this happens, like, Mongo has, like, I feel like Mongo should have tried to get the bishop into the game first. Oh, so he moves the bishop up now. It looks like he's trying to castle now. I feel like that's very principled. I feel like that does make a lot of sense. Now, if this pawn pushes, and let's say Black takes, we get takes, so that doesn't work. However, the rook could eventually come into the game too, and it could get very, very dicey very, very fast. Now, how is this one going to go? So now White strikes and moves the bishop over to g5, attacking the knight and x-raying the queen. The bishop is still covering this diagonal, so it looks fine as it stands. Now Black pushes the pawn, trying to kick the bishop out, trying to get the bishop to either take, move back, or just screw off completely. And the bishop does move back, and apparently that is an inaccuracy. But to the naked eye, it looks like it's fine. Ooh, and now this, Mongo might have some threats brewing here. Ooh, and now this is kind of dangerous. This is checkmate brewing. Mongo needs to make sure he spots the checkmate here. I feel like Mongo should castle here. I think castling is the best move on the board. It is. Castling is the only move that saves the game and does not give White an advantage, according to the eval bar. And Mongo finds it. Well done by Mongo. This is turning into a very tricky game. Both players are coming into the middle game now. A pawn does fall off the board, but it appears to be a poison pawn. Because if Black moves, it says rook b8 right off the gate. If rook b8, queen takes, and then the rook comes down, takes, and now the rook is threatening all on this 7th rank. So Mongo needs to do a little bit of thinking in his head here, and he needs to understand. I guess you could play queen b8 too, but I feel like that could be catastrophic potentially, because queen takes, rook takes, and then White can push the pawn, or actually the White can just move the bishop back. Actually, so Mongo needs to play rook b8. Rook b8 is the best move on the board as it stands. A very, very important move here for Mongo, and he is doing exactly what he should do in this spot. He is taking his sweet time. I preach this to all beginners in the chess Discord. Ooh, and Mongo takes the bishop. Was that I think it was the knight. Mongo takes the knight on c3. I did not have that one on my bingo card. Ooh, and White is forced to take with the pawn, and now White has double pawns here. So how does Black get out of this situation? Black is down a pawn, but according to the eval bar, he is doing just fine. It is not a devastating position as of yet. But Mongo has some questions to answer. The best move on the board here would be queen f6, according to the engine, or bishop b5. And that is crazy, because takes, and then, oh, that is actually insane. I don't think Mongo will find that one. Instead, he vouches for bishop e6. All right, so Mongo is now, oh my god, and White takes the pawn, but apparently that's a blunder too. But to the naked eye, I don't see why. Oh, because the bishop slides down, maybe? No, it says rook b8. It still says rook b8. The engine is screaming rook b8. Rook b8 keeps the position dead locked. Can Mongo find rook b8? Also, queen g5 could be an option. Right here, perhaps. And then you could also play c5, apparently. Striking? And Mongo does find that. Ooh, and I like the idea. And it looks like he's trying to get the rook into the game now. This could get very dicey very, very fast. Okay. Mongo needs to be very, very careful. Also, I'm going to check and make sure these goons aren't in the stream chat real quick because I've figured out a way to check. All right, both players are out as it stands. And welcome to the stream, guys. If you're just joining us, this is the first match of round 1 of the full Strive Chess tournament between Mongo and Exploring Chess. Now the queen slides down, a very principled move, I would say. And as it stands, white has a slight 1-point advantage on the eval bar. Ooh, and the engine did not like that move because the rook now slides, and now this pawn is going to be striking, and it's going to be striking fast. Ooh, and now Mongo's looking to threaten. And now the pawn pushes. Ooh, but apparently that is bad too. Now what happens if Mongo moves his queen here? If Mongo moves his queen there, could that be a forced mate here in a moment? If I'm saying if white, like in my head I'm thinking if white takes, this could potentially be a forced mate. Oh, actually maybe not. Oh, but no. But white moves the bishop down. And Mongo is threatening. Oh, wait, no. It's covered because after the pawn pushes in, the queen will cover this entire back rank. Ooh, that is a sneaky maneuvering. And now the pawn strikes. How does Mongo survive this? Exploring Chess has Mongo on the rails. It is a plus 2.4 advantage as it currently stands. Ooh, but that looks like a mistake. Now I think Mongo should take the queen. I think Mongo should take the queen, get the queen off the board. This pawn is also hanging right now as it stands. And the bishop will be forced to take here. And so this rook will be vulnerable. So I'm thinking you maybe try and get the rook off this rank because obviously you probably want to keep material on the board for as long as you possibly can. And Mongo is now at 1 minute on his clock, and he does not get any bonus time for this format. He needs to start moving faster. Exploring Chess doing exceptional on the clock, exceptional in the position. He is at a plus 2.2 advantage on the eval bar. How is this one going to end? Do not leave for a single moment, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen in this position. Now, what does white play here? The engine is calling for a4, perhaps. a4, defending the pawn because the bishop is currently stopping the pawn. It also says queen takes on c7 and rook bd8. Wait. Yeah, rook bd8. Wrong rook here. And white finds the best move. Nicely done from white. And now Mongo slides the rook over, and it is getting worse and worse in this position for Mongo. Can Mongo stave off and survive and win this match against all odds? It is looking very, very tough today. Now the queen takes on c7, and how is this one going to end? Anything is possible here. It is a +3 advantage now for white, though. Mongo needs to find something, and he needs to find something fast. Time is of the essence, so he is now at 34 seconds on his clock. He needs to start playing with pace. And these rooks need to stay together. These rooks need to stay together. That's very, very important. But what do you do here if you're black? White is suffocating the black position. This entire file is open for the taking, and Mongo's clock is dwindling. He is now below 20 seconds. He is in the red. Mongo needs to move. What is Mongo thinking? He's now at 11 seconds. Mongo is crumbling. Oh, it's devastating. Mongo has frozen. He slides the queen back, but with 1 second on his clock. It looks like Exploring Chess is going to be our first round winner. And white moves the rook over, and Mongo loses on time. A brutal game from Mongo, but a stellar performance from Exploring Chess. Everybody in the stream chat right now, tell Mongo GG's. Everybody tell Mongo GG's in the chat right now. Everybody tell Mongo GG's. Right now. GG's. Everybody tell Mongo GG's. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of Round 1. In this game in particular, Supra, who is playing with the black pieces, will be giving Adi a 2-minute time advantage after his third move is played. Chess.com requires you to play 3 moves before you start initiating this time advantage, or else it will force you to abort the game. And to start the game off, we have a closed Sicilian defense. And we do this when we don't have enough participants and we want to try and keep things fair for everybody. Adi is a very much a beginner in the game of chess, and we try to keep things as fair as we possibly can. However, I think Supra will be just fine as he is a very, very strong player. So while we are waiting for Supra to let his time run down 2 minutes, I would just like to tell all of you, we host these chess tournaments twice a week, and we have 4 chess tournament formats, we have a sub 1000 elo tournament, we have a 1000 elo to 1500 elo tournament, a 1500 elo to 1900 elo tournament, and we also have a 1900 elo tournament plus. Every single week, I post a poll in our tournament sign-up channel, and those who can participate in our tournaments, we have them vote, and whichever format has the most tournament sign-ups will be the tournament of the day. We host these tournaments on Tuesdays and Fridays, and all you have to do to participate is hop in the Discord server, join, and that is that. And our Discord server is really awesome. We have a chess dojo, we have daily checkmates. We are about to launch a chess rank system, which I will be announcing here probably after today. I'll give you all a little bit of a tease, and those of you that are already in the Discord server. But essentially, it is going to be ranked, and based on how you perform and how you get better in chess, how you participate in the server, and all that fun jazz. So, if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I highly, highly recommend you check it out. The link will be in the description down below. And if you are in the stream chat, one of the mods will post a link, and all you got to do is click that link, hop in, sign up for the tournaments, participate in our events, and join the fun. It is a chess bandwagon, so get on it while you still can. So with that being said, y'all, Supra is now at 3 minutes, and we are underway. We have a close Sicilian defense, and Adi responds with d3. Supra develops the knight to c6, and we are coming in hot fast. Let's get that eval bar on screen for you guys. And Adi is playing a very, very, very structured and principled game so far in this one. And Supra strikes with the pawn, a very bold move. In a normal game, it looks like that is almost like overextending almost, but the engine called for it. So well done by Supra. Supra playing a very, very nails and strong and potent opening so far. However, there is a lot that can happen in this one. And I am going to say this to somebody in the chat. While Full Strive is commentating on the games, please do not speak to him. He is commentating. If you have a question, ask a mod. I'm not going to say your name, who you are in the stream chat, but please don't ask me questions in the stream chat while I am commentating. Anyways, back to the action. We have Supra with a plus 1.1 advantage on the eval bar as it stands. However, it is not very clear. I would guess, and the engine says that is a catastrophic move from Supra. I think the engine actually wanted him to castle. But apparently that is a devastating blunder by Supra. Due to the fact that this pawn, what was this pawn? Something was hanging there. Oh, no, it was the bishop. The bishop was hanging. And the bishop is hanging again. Can Supra find it? The bishop is hanging. Oh, and he misses it again. He needs to play queen. Hey, white is winning now. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. This game is already getting very, very hot, very, very fast. Oh my god, and now the knight is blundered. Because when the bishop takes with check, the knight can take right back. And now the bishop is going to take the bishop. And Supra has the lead with a +2 advantage in material and a +3 advantage on the eval bar. But how does this one end? Anything can happen. Supra with a massive time difference. So Adi needs to play fast and play to his advantage. Start getting your predictions in. Mods in the stream chat, if you know how to make predictions, start making predictions now. Who is going to finish this game? Will Supra hold on to win, or will Adi pull off the unthinkable upset? Drop your predictions now in the chat. Who is going to win? And Supra striking with a check on a5. But Adi doing a very, very principled thing, blocking with the pawn. I honestly love this move. Now the bishop slides back, and the position is even now because the queen can slide. And now the queen can slide here. You wouldn't go there because the pawn would take. The queen can slide here, and now it is going to be check. But apparently that is a devastating mistake. Oh my god. Supra cannot go bishop e7. Good move from Supra. Good move. If Supra would have gone bishop e7, it would have been checkmate in 1. The move popped up on screen. So how does this one conclude? And how does Adi... So Supra does have the advantage now. And it is a devastating blunder because the queen is going to get pinned to the king. And Supra is going to win. Adi with a crucial tactical error. And the king takes, and now Supra has a +5 advantage in material. A devastating blow. Can Supra hold on to win this one with 1 minute and 39 seconds on his clock? It is quickly turning into a bullet time format for this young man. The bishop takes, and now the bishop is threatening this bishop while also attacking here. If I'm Adi, I'd probably, yes, that's exactly what I would do. I'd probably try and keep the bishop on the board for as long as you possibly can. When you are down material, it is pivotal that you try and keep material on the board as long as possible. If I am Adi here, I am probably sliding the bishop back here. I would probably slide the bishop back here, defend this pawn, and then castle. However, I think castling is also fine in this spot as well. Super needs to be careful, though. The king is in a very vulnerable spot. Eventually, the rook could come in, and he could create a discovered attack and attack the queen here. And that could prove very, very devastating for Supra in this position. And Adi does just that. Now Supra does a very good job recognizing that there is a pin created by both his opponent's piece and the piece blocking the check. And he does a great job getting on a light square. And it's also very important when you get into low time control that you are making sure that whenever your opponent has a, let's say a dark squared bishop, for example, it's important to keep your king on light squares, keep your pieces on light squares for as long as you possibly can, because it creates less stuff you have to think about. Now, barring the position will require more things, more times than not, different things. And Supra just straight up takes the bishop, sacking the rook, while also creating a check with the bishop. It is extraordinary! An extraordinary play by Supra. And now the queen is going to be coming in, and checkmate will be brewing in 7 moves if Supra can find the winning calculation. And he is now down to mate in 6. Can Supra finish this game off? Mate in 8. He doesn't quite find the best move, but Supra takes the rook. And now checkmate is coming, and it is coming in fast. There is nothing you can do to stop this. The king can take the pawn. However, the queen's just going to go right back here. And the king's going to go here, and mate's going to be brewing, and it's just going to be completely and utterly over for Adi. A well-fought game from Adi, but I do not see him coming back. Supra with a very, very calculated and solid attack, but it proves that there is, in fact, levels to this game that we all love. Adi, I am very grateful that he participated in this tournament, but Supra is on the cusp of finishing this one off in style. Check delivered with the queen. There is one move on the board, and now that was mate in 1 here. This was mate in 1. Now you go here, and checkmate will be brewing on move 45. And in this position, Adi resigns. A very heroic performance from Adi, but Supra proves victorious in the second match of round 1 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. And we are underway for the final match of round 1 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. We have a very, very, very good game ahead of us. We have Katie representing the black pieces, Captain Bill representing the white pieces, and we are starting off hot fast. We have Captain Bill in very familiar territory, playing the ready, and he is sitting with a plus 0.8 advantage on the eval bar. Katie doing a great job trying to get this bishop out. I honestly really like that. Then maybe perhaps try and fianchetto the bishop, perhaps. You don't necessarily have to move the bishop back just yet. I don't know if I really like that move very much, because you do have to take with the pawn. Now this pawn will be isolated, and then actually good. That's a good maneuver from Katie according to the eval bar. Okay, so now queen takes, and now pawn takes, and now this bishop has to go. Bishop has to go. Captain Bill is going to give Katie the best game that he possibly can. Let's see how this one plays out. So the bishop is going to have to slide back now to b3. Ooh, but he slides back to d3, and apparently that's a bad move. And now Katie immediately develops the bishop to g4. And Captain Bill slides the bishop back. And honestly, I honestly think you should probably castle here. The engine calls for a castling on one of the moves. That's move 3. You can also play queen d6, apparently, right here. Queen d7 could be a good move. Nothing with the knight. And Katie takes the bishop, or takes the knight. I honestly do not hate that move. I think that move is fine. And so now Katie has to be careful and keep an eye on this pawn. This pawn is very, very important right now. And I honestly like that. It looks like she's trying to push this pawn now. And the queen could potentially come in here eventually, but like you're not too worried about that as it stands. You have defenses on that file. Now Captain Bill strikes with the queen, moving the queen down to a5, and I honestly do not mind in the slightest pushing the pawn to c6. Because when the queen takes, the rook will take. And you're also getting rid of a attacker on this pawn. And Katie pre-moves the takes. Very, very nicely done. Very nicely done. So now the rook slides over to c1. And could somebody please speak to Star in the chat? He's saying a lot. Somebody explain to him what happened. So now the pawn pushes to b4. And this game, this game is very, very even. A very, very structured pawn chain from white. A very structured pawn chain from black. Now, how do you strike and how do you finish this position off and win the game? So, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so Captain Bill looks like he's really, really trying to push down this file. I honestly don't mind that in the slightest. I'm thinking maybe you castle now and try and get the rook over here, perhaps. Try and get the rook in the game, try and create some threats. Make Katie have to answer some questions. And Captain Bill now with 3 minutes and 20 seconds on his clock as it stands. I would like to remind you as well, this is a 5-minute blitz game with no bonus time. So, all right. So the position is very, very even. And remind you as well, this is a ready opening, ready gambit accepted is what the engine says. And Captain Bill moves his king to e2. Who in the right mind is playing king e2 in that spot? I know I certainly am not. What does Captain Bill have planned here? We're going to have to wait and find out. Katie is using a little bit of time to think here, as she very wisely should. When you get in these tricky spots, it is completely deadlocked in material, completely deadlocked on the eval bar. But who is going to reign victorious in this bout? So Katie now slides the rook over to a8. And I feel like a very, very insane move is about to happen here. I feel like Captain Bill's going to do something diabolical in the next 2-3 moves, if I had to predict. Let's see here. So now Captain Bill slides the rook up. Knight moves forward to f5. And now Captain Bill doubling the rooks up, trying to create a very big threat coming down here. And Katie moves the knight to h4, and this is a inaccuracy because, oh no, but apparently that's the wrong move. And there's a quick exchange of the knight and the bishop, and Captain Bill has the slight edge in the position. I'm assuming it's because of his pawn structure. His pawn structure is slightly better. And now Katie moves the rook over, and now you can, oh, and Captain Bill could put, I'm at a loss of words. Oh, it is not good. It is not looking too good for Katie. Is Captain Bill going to finish this game off? No way. Now the pawn pushes to h6, pawn takes, and now Katie is going to be down a pawn, and it is going to be a devastating loss of a pawn because these two pawns are going to eventually fall as well. I honestly don't want to take the rook there. I'd probably slide down here. Ugh. Actually, that would have been bad too because then you would have doubled up the rooks eventually. Now the king slides over. Katie is on the ropes. Katie needs to figure out some kind of maneuvering to save the position, but it is looking more and more grim as we progress. Is there any hope that Katie can salvage the position and rescue a draw at the bare minimum? I honestly love pawn pushes to e4. But the engine says no. The engine says rook c5 is the best move. But Captain Bill wisely slides the king back. I honestly love the move. And now Captain Bill slides the rook over. And now the pawns are going to be storming. And there is no stopping these pawns. You have 5 pawns against 3. How do you stop this if you're Katie? There is no stopping this. This game is turned on its head. King slides over for Katie. And now the king is pushing to d3. Pawn pushes to g5. A quick exchange of the pawns. King slides down to c4. And this king's going to get in here. This king will get in. Is there any hope that Katie can rescue? Any hope at all? Rook slides up to a7. Pawn pushes to e4. And this is Captain Bill's game to lose. Captain Bill could very easily lose this game if he does not maneuver in a precise manner. But it looks like when the rook can't move, the rook cannot move, period. And this king cannot get over here because of the rook. And the king's just going to slide down. Katie slides the rook down. And it looks like Captain Bill is going to reign supreme in this bout. And now the rook slides over. And there is no stopping the attack from Captain Bill. The pawn pushes. This pawn will fall. It is surrounded by a slurry of pieces. And once this pawn falls off the board, and honestly, if I'm Captain Bill, I just exchange the rooks. And this game is done, set, match. Captain Bill is going to win this one, barring a very devastating draw. But Captain Bill is too good for that. There's no possible way he draws this position. I don't see it. It appears that Captain Bill will reign supreme. And Katie now with 45 seconds on her clock. Desperately looking for an opportunity to save the position. But now the queen is blocking the pawn. The king is going to get over in time. And eventually the queen is going to start checking. And the king gets over. And the queen is going to take. And now you slide the queen up, bring the king down, and it is going to be GG's on move 59. Katie resigns. GG's to Captain Bill. GG's to Katie. All right, and we are underway for round 2, match 1 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. We are watching from White's perspective in this round, and we are going to be in for a treat. Both of these very stellar players representing India. And it is going to be a match of the century. And just like that, we have a 4 knights, and Supra immediately sacks the knight. This is the Halloween Gambit. The balls on this man are absolutely insane. Supra playing the Halloween Gambit. He's striking with the pawn. This is absolutely unworldly. The knight's going to run out of moves. Supra strike. Oh my god. Supra with just a diabolical opening. This is called the Halloween Gambit. The knight has to retreat and the pawns are pushing. Unprecedented. Halloween in September. We have you. What are we witnessing? Supra is down an entire piece of material for a pawn. But it was meant. The Halloween Gambit. Chat, Captain Bill, please start making predictions. Captain Bill, I kindly request that you make the predictions in the chat. Let's get this underway. Can Supra, and it is a catastrophic blunder, and Supra has the lead because the pawn is, the knight is going to get here. However, Black does have a queen check. And after the queen check, it calls for bishop d2. And the knight is blundered. And Supra. Can Supra find it? The knight is hanging. And Supra finds it. The Halloween Gambit. I am at a loss of words right now. This is a diabolical start to this game. Supra showing no remorse. Sacking a knight on move 3. Unprecedented. Do not scratch your eyes for a single second. Call an ambulance. But not for Supra. This is unbelievable. And if I'm Supra, I'm honestly probably checking with the knight. Check with the knight. Check with the knight. I probably check with the knight. Force the king to move. Best move on the board by Supra. Supra, stellar, sound, precise, precision at its finest, has found a winning combination, and he currently sits at plus 6.7. Yes, he is only plus 1 in material, but now he is plus 5. Supra, with an exceptional, and I mean exceptional start to this game, is now currently sitting at plus 6.5 and plus 6 in material. You gotta be careful though, don't blunder your queen. Honestly, you probably slide the knight up. Oh, that's tricky though, because then you're gonna go here. Oh my god, wait. Wait. This could get tricky. Oh, exploring chess could have taken that because the pawn was pinned. And then Super would have had to do something. But, oh, this is crazy. So now the knight jumps to c7. Attacking the queen. Now the queen is out of squares. No matter where the queen goes, the queen will get taken. The queen has to fall back here. That is the only square it can go. And exploring chess finds the move. And Supra is at plus 12 as it currently stands. I think the winning move here is probably bishop here eventually, right? Bishop c4. Bishop c4, the checkmate will be forced. And the only way to stop it, and Super plays rook e1. I honestly don't hate it. What a maneuvering from Supra. This is a Hall of Fame game if I have ever seen one before. I cannot believe. I'm still at a loss. I cannot believe he sacked the knight on move 3 and he played the Halloween Gambit. By the way, Halloween Gambit review coming soon. I'm going to create a video about it because I'm very intrigued by the Halloween Gambit. A very fascinating opening. And exploring chess is on the ropes and it's plus 8 compared to like plus 5 or 6 right now because these pieces are blocking the pawns from pushing. And there's nothing you can do no matter where you go. And the king slides over now. And now if I'm Supra, I'm playing the bishop here. Best move on the board. Well done by Supra. Can Supra finish this game off in just a slight few moves? That's a good move. Giving the king some breathing room. And Supra, if I'm Supra, I'm just taking here. I'm taking right here. But instead, he sends the rook forward and the queen will have to take. And it is now mate in 7. Knight takes, pawn takes, and mate in 1 is on the board. In our move 24, Supra advances to the championship match of the Full Strive Chess Tournament.